Hey, welcome back, fellow jazz buns. Felipe here. It's today's special program, right? We're gonna give first impressions and my initial thoughts on the UHQR, John Coltrane Love Supreme that just came out. I just received it a few hours ago. I was doing a cleaning, checking, and also making sure that everything was fine to put it together against two other copies that I have that I think could be important to review those in that context, and I'll go about that later. So, Love Supreme. What to say about this recording, this idea, this concept? Everything that comes out of this record is pure brilliance. Coltrane put out a masterpiece here that, in my feeling, it transcends genres. It can be used in so many concepts, so many stages, so many contexts. This record really transcends. So John Coltrane, as we know, was born actually the same year as Miles Davis in North Carolina. He comes back from military service and starts devoting himself again to music. So in the early 50s, 40s, late 40s, he has a lot of issues with drug addiction, alcoholism. So, and he erratically plays with Miles, with Monk, ultimately with Miles again, and then he starts getting into a healing, growth process, let's say. He joins Miles, he records Kind of Blue. He's also made Blue Train for Blue Note and his first for Atlantic, Giant Steps. In that context, he learned a lot about music from Monk, because Monk loved to talk about music, and from Miles, in a sense, but about whole new ideas or horizons to explore. So he goes to Impulse and has some really big hit records there, like Ballads, Duke Ellington, Johnny Hartman. Those records are really well received, but nothing compares to what comes from Love Supreme. Love Supreme was recorded in the summer of '64. Coltrane, he was really trying to push back against the label. They were not very confident about releasing this record. Coltrane pushed back. There was some help, and it was actually recorded in December of '69 in 2 days, December 9th and December 10th. The session used in the original record is the December 9 of 1964. He was with Elvin Jones, Jimmy Garrett, and McCoy Tyner, his famous, probably most important quartet iteration of his band there. So, summer '64, Coltrane kind of locks himself up and decides to work on ideas. So, after some time, he's meditating, let's say, he's practicing, he's exploring other musical aspects, musical contexts. Gets to the label, they record the record, and it's finally released in January. It's not a simple piece, but it made a lot of sense in those days. It was very influential. It sold really well. It was nominated for Grammy and many other nominations. Coltrane had a Poll winner in that year. So again, this record is about a man's spiritual, philosophical journey. It's hard to put in many words, because the way I see it was very vast, wide group of ideas, of concepts there. So this record came out with 4 tracks, which I'm going to go over and talk about a little bit the comparison I decided to do. Of course, today was the day UHQR has arrived, so I decided to go check against an original, because it is the original, is the first, and one of those more widely available nowadays and very good AAA pressing, Love Supreme 33 by Analog Productions in the Acoustic Sound series. I don't have that many other 45s or classic series, so everybody that wants to give some thoughts, that will be very, very welcome. So the UHQR box, to start with, comes in the usual format, gatefold. It's in plastic here. This very, very nice clarity vinyl. super heavy, the thick profile, beautiful, beautiful. Although it's kind of warm these days, the record came really flat, no issues so far. You have an UHQR box. You have the Fall 22 catalog from Analog Productions and the booklet. The booklet, once again, is written very well. I like it very well this time. I think Ashley Kahn did an amazing job in giving some both technical and recording historical aspects. I think good choice of words and very informative. Talks about the mastering, why the panning, which is something that we're going to talk a little later, why that was done like that and why that was so important. So Love Supreme, starting here, has 4 tracks: Acknowledgement, Resolution, Pursuance, and Song. And this Impulse A77. This is an original 1965 first pressing. So this record is divided in 4 parts, pretty much the steps in this journey. Could be also seen as the changes in his mind and also like a religious ceremony in a sense. This acknowledgement, resolution, the pursuing, the struggle, and then the psalm. Then the quiet introductory moments, the quiet ending moments, and the intense ritual process journey that we pass in our lives. So I think this is the what he probably portraying there. So this is an original. Again, I found the penning quite similar in all of them. Elvin Jones here, Coltrane there, and rhythm section right in between. I think the bass came out really well. It's a typical Van Gelder record. It's very powerful, mostly in the mid-range. The highs are really highs, and the lows there, sometimes a little hidden there. But so the record sounds very powerful, very present, very like in your face. And to me, that's what this presentation, the original, does. However, I find the very highs on the horn, especially, sounds a little frayed. Doesn't sound very cohesive to me. Next, you have this pressing here from Acoustic Sounds 2020, Acoustic Sounds series. I believe it was the second month of releases. This is also done by Ryan Smith from the same tape that the UHQR has done, the same master. And it's a terrific record. I mean, you can even find outside Acoustic Sound series, I think there's a huge batch made by Ryan K. Smith. And they really knocked it out of the park. I think there's more extension, the separation is better, everything sounds clearer compared to my original, which is VG Plus, I'd say. So it plays really good. However, I still prefer this one here. I think it's more audiophile in a sense. You're going to get more. Although emotionally, the degree of engagement that this record can bring is impressive. And how did I like the UHQR? I think if you're on the fence, if you can buy, if you can afford it, and I wasn't quite sure about the sound quality given the past installments in the series, don't hesitate. To me, it was quite an accomplishment by the whole team. I mean, it's a fantastic work, fantastic presentation. My cover came, no spines. The records, they came shipped separately. I mean, if you don't like a box or not, there's another discussion. I'm not going to talk about cardboard. I'm going to talk about plastic. So what I feel in the UHQR, panning still quite similar. Ryan Smith explains that this is the way they would record back then, the early stereos. So it was easier for them to master, but it was harder to cut also. So it is fantastic. The rhythm section feels fuller. So you hear the bass a lot more, you hear the piano better, I think, and the drums as well. I think the drums is the highlight here. You can hear every detail when he crashes a cymbal, kick drum, everything. The snare, it sounds so clear and all over the place. But just as a background, as something that's staging the band to be there in all around it. It's a beautiful, beautiful presentation. Especially on Pursuance, the end of the track, the way that the bass line, the solo at the end of the track is just phenomenal. You can feel the wood. It's just unbelievable. I definitely like that one. Also the vocals, I think they sound more real, more believable. You can hear even like the grasping on the voices. It's really interesting, really fantastic. I highly recommend this version over the others. However, if you're not too certain if you want to spend that or try it, the 33 is really good as well. And of course, an OG is always an OG. However, I would vote for the UHQR. It was a terrific job, and I hope they keep doing great work like that. But different titles, but great work. So that was my take on the new Love Supreme Analog Productions UHQR 45s. Was it unfair to compare to those 33s? But man, this thing rocks. It's beautiful. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe. Give us all your opinions, your thoughts. It was going to be very nice. Thank you so much.